Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'm showing you how to make an Xbox One house. I have been getting a surprising amount of requests to make this for quite a while, and I have finally delivered. Hopefully you guys really like this one. I think it's kind of a unique idea for a house, and I'm really hoping that you guys actually like how it came out. If you do, please do give this video a like, comment down below, let me know what you want me to make next. Follow me on Twitter, you can do the same thing there, at TSMC 360, follow me on Twitter. It has all of the adapters and all of the lead spaces and everything all around the Xbox. It's fairly detailed. I don't think that I've missed too much. Check out the card system, check out the description below, and I will link you to all of my other various theme houses. You guys can check those out there. And plus, I'll also show you how to make this nifty controller in front of the Xbox One. Although, in the actual tutorial, I think I might place this on top of the Xbox just for fun. But that's more than enough talking. If you want to make this thing, here's what you're going to need. Grab yourself some sea lanterns and some stone brick stairs. Grab science stained clay, some black wool, dark grey wool, light grey wool, red wool, and finally grab yourself some buttons. By no means is that all we need to make this thing, but we'll just have to grab everything else that we need later on because we have run out of room. Once you have each one of those materials, and once you've figured out what you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you're going to want to kick off your Xbox with this sequence of blocks in a row on the floor. Do one black wool. Then right of that, do 19 cyan stained clay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then what you want to do is this. So we want to, coming upwards and outwards diagonally towards us from this 19th block, we want to do a cyan stained clay. So like this. And on top of that cyan stained clay, we want to go up by 8. So that'll look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then, once you've done that, we want to come back down to this row of 19 that we have right here, and we want to go right of this row of 19 by a further 18 with the cyan stained clay. So that'll look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and that's 18. Then place a black wool on the floor going right, like that. Perfect. Once you've got that taken care of, what you now want to do is you want to take each one of those black wool blocks that we have. We only have 2 of them. And we want to go behind these blocks towards where the back of the Xbox One's going to be, each by 29. That is quite the length to count out, isn't it? So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. And I'm fairly certain that that row is correct, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go all the way over to this very first black wall that we placed, and we're going to extend it backwards until it looks like that we have evenly matched the previous row that we've made. So that looks about right, doesn't it? And what we're now going to do is we're going to connect the row that we do know, which is 29, this first one, we're going to connect it all the way over to the row that we've just made now, and we're going to use cyan stained clay to do it. And we're going to see whether it matches up, and luckily for us, it does. But let's say that we had a couple of blocks coming this way, then we destroy those just to make sure that it's even. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like that, and that's what you want to have, guys. That's fantastic. Well, once you've got that taken care of, we can now come to the very front of our build, and this is what we want to do next. So we want to, starting from this center row of cyan, we want to take the bottom block and we want to extend the bottom block left and right with the black wool until we have a row of black wool that is even on both sides to the sides of the Xbox. So it just wants to be as long as the bottom row of black and cyan stained clay like this. First, we're going to take care of the front left-hand part of the Xbox, then we'll take care of the front right. So, on this front left-hand part, what we first of all want to do is we want to add an additional row of black directly onto this top row of black that we have here. So just add an additional row of black on top, like that. Then, we want to, starting from the left-hand side here, we want to add a row of 4 black on top of this left-hand side. So that'll look like 1, 2, 3, 4. We then, for the right hand side, want to do the exact same thing, so we'll go by 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we want to connect that 4th block together all the way over to the opposite side, so connect each one of those 4th blocks together. Take out your light grey wool and inside of and behind this rectangular shape, this empty hole that we have here, which is where you would insert game discs, we want to have a rectangular shape of light grey wool. So from the outside, it'll look a little something like that, and that's exactly what you want to have. Then, we want to, inside of this empty space, inside of the light grey wool rectangle, we want to have 2 black wool coming in from either side inside the rectangle, and we want to have a button, a literal button, placed on the first black wool on either side, like this. Then, take out your dark grey wool, and you want to have a layer of dark grey wool that is inside and behind the empty space of the disc tray. So we want to have something which should look like that, and that is fantastic. What we can then do is, on top of this area, we can add 3 additional layers of black. So this is all that's pretty much going to be on the front left hand side. I mean, if you take a look at your Xbox now, if you do have an Xbox One, you can just see that we have, that's it, it's just like the disc tray, and I myself have kept the little sticker on that warns you not to let it overheat or blah 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 or whatever it does. I've never read that thing before, but you guys get the point. That's all there is on the left hand side. Well, once you've got that taken care of, we can now come all the way over to the right hand side where there is something, and on the right hand side here, we want to, going up on top of this very front right hand corner black wall, we want to go up by 1 and 2. We then want to go left by 2, that's 1, 2. We then, with our sea lantern, want to go left by 3, that's 1, 2, 3. Then do an up left diagonal, go up by 2. Then do an up right diagonal, right by 2. Do a bottom right diagonal, go down by 2. Then what we want to do is this. So we want to place a sea lantern coming in from each one of the 4 middle blocks of each side of this thing. So that's like 1, 2, 3, and 4 meeting in the middle. Fill the center of this thing in with black wool, like this, and then what we want to do is we just want to completely make the rest of this side black wool. So we just want to build this up with black wool until this side is as high as it is on the left hand side. I'm just going to fill this right hand side in very quickly, there we go, and then I'm just going to fill this left hand side in, and this will majoritively be the front of the Xbox complete. There's not really anything else to take care of after this bit on the front, although we may begin at the top of this thing. I'll tell you what, we will begin the top of this thing, but we won't do very much. We'll just establish where the top of the Xbox is. So you want to have something which should look a little bit like that, and that's the front of the Xbox. Nice and easy, guys. Well, once you've got that taken care of, come up to the top middle part of your Xbox. You want to take this top center cyan stained clay, and you want to, inwards and diagonally towards the center of the Xbox, place a cyan stained clay. Extend that cyan stained clay left and right with the black wool until you have a black wool that is as long as the front of the Xbox. So you guys know what you have to do. You want to have something which should look a little bit like that. Fantastic. Well, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So we'll move on to the left-hand side of the Xbox first of all, then we'll take care of the right, then we'll probably do the back, or in any other order that we feel like doing. So on the left-hand side of the Xbox, this is what you want to do. Starting from this on top of this very first black wall that we placed, which is this one right here, you guys can remember it, we want to, on top of this, place a cyan stained clay. Then, leaving a gap going up by 1, place another cyan stained clay. On top of that, place a black wall. Go left of it by 2, up by 2, right by 2. Fill in the center of this with light grey wool. Perfect. What we then want to do, starting from this very first cyan stained clay, going left, leaving a gap of 1, place a cyan stained clay. Leaving a gap of 1, place a light grey wool, and go left of it by 2. Do an up left diagonal, and go up, and then do an up right diagonal. Go right by 2, then do a bottom right diagonal to give you this shape. What we then want to do inside of this, we want to have, and this is kind of like difficult to place without placing some other blocks first, so I'll show you. You want to have a stone brick stairs right in the center of this thing, like just one row behind it. And then you want to have a black wall left and a right of that stone brick stairs. And it'll just look a little something like, I'm gonna smash that, there we go. So it'll just look a little something like that, and that's fantastic. Well, what we want to do next is this. So we can come all the way to the back corner of the Xbox, and from this black wall we can do an up left diagonal, and we want to go up on top of this diagonal by, I do believe that's 8, so that'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I actually think that's 7, but we'll find out in a sec. So from this 7th block, we'll do an upright diagonal, and we should be able to connect all the way to the front of the Xbox, hopefully, assuming that I have got that measurement correct, and it looks like I have, so that's fantastic. So we want to have something which should look like this. Now, the rest of this is actually quite easy, and I won't be doing it all on recording, but I will show you what you have to do. So, starting on the right hand side here, where we going left of this this plug thing, I think that a USB goes in here. Going left of the bottom left light grey wall here, we want to, on top of this black row, we want to leave a gap of 1, place a cyan, leave a gap of 1, cyan, gap of 1, cyan, gap of 1, cyan, so on and so forth until you eventually reach the left hand side. And you'll see why the pattern is why it is like it is in a second, so we want to have that. And then for the next row above this, we want to, starting from the left hand side again, we want to place a cyan stained clay, miss 1, place 1, miss 1, place 1, so on and so forth until we eventually reach the right hand side, and that will take us a while. But not only do we want to have this for the first few rows, and by the way, it wants to carry through the the little thing that we have here, but we want to have this for every single row that we have. So every single row, we want to have this repeating pattern of cyan stained clay, no cyan stained clay. Simple as that. It will take ages to do. I'm not actually going to do it on tutorial because it will take a while, and let me explain to you what will happen after that. So once you've placed that coming all the way up, you then want to, inside of the Xbox, in all of the empty spaces left between the separation between the cyan stained clays, you want to place black wool. So inwards, and inside the empty spaces, you want to have the black wool. So I'm just going to, whoops, destroyed that by accident. So I'm just going to place all of this, and this is what it will look like for the first row going all the way across the bottom. And you want that to be the same for the entire way up, but that is all of the detail on this side. Like I said, later on we'll just have to fill in the rest of it. But let's move on to the opposite side now, and then we can talk about the next bit. So we are on the opposite side, and we'll start on top of this back right hand corner. We'll do an upright diagonal, and then it will go up by 8. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we'll do an up left diagonal, and then we will go left until we connect all the way to the front of our Xbox, and that'll take a second or two. There we go, wonderful. So that's the shape that we want to have. Well, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So on this side of the Xbox, as you may have noticed, you have a very similar pattern to what we have on that side, except it only goes about halfway up the side of your Xbox. So starting from this bottom left hand corner here, on this side of the Xbox, you want to, going from left to right, you want to have cyan stained clay, leave a gap. Cyan stained clay, leave a gap. Clay, no clay. Clay, no clay, no clay. You guys get the point. Before I get tongue-tied, as I usually do, you want to have that going all the way across the right. And then for the next row, and we can just come across the left-hand side here, you want to have the same thing. So it's the exact same story, except, of course, it's weaved in between. So you reverse the pattern. And these are just like, I think that some of these are actually vents, and some of these are just like, that's the shape of the Xbox. Some of these things, I think, serve no purpose, and some of these are actually like actual holes in the Xbox as meant for ventilation. But you want to have, on this side of the Xbox, you only want to have, in total, 4 rows of this. So I've actually done 3 rows, and I may as well do all 4 rows. And then we'll fill the rest of this side of the Xbox in with black. And then later on, when we decide that we want to do it, we'll have to fill like the inside of these lines. And by the way, this is the 4th and final row of this. We'll have to fill the inside of the Xbox with the black wool that will be inside of and in between the cyan stained clay. So that'll be with just the black wool, and it will take a second or two to actually complete. So whoops, there we go. So we want to do the black wool above this, coming across the front all the way to the back, like this. And now all we have to do is fill this upper section in with black. There isn't that much detail left to be added to the Xbox. We will have to do the back of the Xbox, which will take a second or two. Admittedly, the back of the Xbox has quite a bit going on. There's a lot of cables and plugs and stuff that have to be plugged back there, hence there is quite a few holes, but we'll get there, don't worry. And also the top of the Xbox, whilst the detail is not difficult to add, it is very time consuming. This Xbox has loads loads of like lattice shapes in it. It's weird. So that is the side of your Xbox complete, guys. That's the left and right hand side done. Why don't we move on to the back and we can talk about that a little bit. So we're going to move to the back of the Xbox and we're going to connect the bottom two corners, the left hand side to the right hand side, together with black wool like this. So connect each side together with black wool like this. Then starting in front of the next row, so this next row, it sits one row inwards and above in relation to the row that we just made. So going right of the cyan stained clay, we want to do a row of 12 black wool. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then we want to do 2 stone brick stairs going right, that's 1, 2. Then we want to do 9 black wool, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 9 black wool. Then the next black wool actually wants to be inwards again and on top of this next row, and then you can just fill to the right in with black wool like this. Then you can take this 9th black wool that we placed, you can go up on top of this wall by 1, 2, and then you can connect it all the way over to the left, and then you'll understand the sort of area that we're working with for this next part. So inside of this empty rectangular space, we want to, going left to right, this first space, we want to do a black wool. Then we want to leave a gap of 2, and then place a black wool. Gap of 2, black wool. Then we want to place a red wool in this hole here to the right, and then we want to place a black wool. Leave a gap of 2, black wool. Place 2 stone brick stairs going right, black wool. Then leaving a gap of 2, black wool. Gap of 1, black wool, and then we want to place another black wool going right, so we actually place 2 black wool like that, and we'll have something which should look like this. What we then want to do is we want to, behind this, we want to fill in with dark grey wool the empty holes. So behind this we just want to fill the empty spaces in with dark grey wool. Easy as that. It'll take a second or two to make, but you know, well, what are you going to do? It is how long it takes. So we're just going to, once we actually destroyed that, my bad, we just undid our work. But we want to have something which should look like that, and that is the back of the Xbox. Alternatively, use light grey wool if you want it to be a bit lighter, or don't, completely up to you. So, for the next bit, the next row above this, just above the section that we've made, wants to be in line with the actual back row of the Xbox again. So we want to have a row of black wool that comes all the way from the left, all the way over to the right, and it just connects all the way to the back like that. Then we can fill this empty section that we have on the bottom right hand side in with black wool, and I'll show you what this looks like. It's just that we have now formed the like little indentation in the back there, and you might want to use light grey wool actually on these back parts of the Xbox just to make sure that it pops a little bit more, but that's up to you. The next row, going from left to right, you want to do 1 black wool, and then you want to do 1 cyan stained clay, leave a gap of 1. Cyan stained clay, leave a gap of 1. So on and so forth, and you want to do this until you actually come to the edge of here. So can you see where the separation is between where the Xbox digs in and where it pops back out again? You want to stop there where you can no longer copy the pattern. And then the next row above this, going from left to right, will look like 1 black wool, gap of 1, cyan stained clay, gap of 1, cyan stained clay, coming all the way across the right until eventually it ends in the exact same position where the pattern can no longer continue without breaching the perimeter like this. So we can actually go 1 block further and then it stops here. We then want to kind of like box this area in. So on top of this black wool, just right of where we just placed block, we want to extend this upwards, and then it wants to come up by 1, 2 further, and then we can just connect it all the way over to the left. So we should be able to connect this all the way over to the left like this, and then we want to fill in the row underneath it, just in with black wool. Like this, we'll just fill this in with black wool. We can connect this top row all the way over to the right hand side, and then we can fill this right hand side in with our black wool. Very easy. Later on, once we have got past this part and after we've done all of the little irritating filling in bits, we will be able to fill this vent in here. We'll be able to add a black wool into the back of it. So just as we did over there in between the holes, we'll be adding black wool as we'll do over there, as we'll do here, as we'll do there. So now let's talk about the top of this thing. It's very easy. So coming all the way to the front of your Xbox, where you have this single cyan stained clay running all the way through the middle of your Xbox, you want to connect this cyan stained clay all the way from the front all the way to the back. So connect from the front to the back like that. Very easy. Once you've connected from the front to the back, you then want to, on top of your Xbox on the right hand side here, you want to do a row of black wool that runs all the way across the right hand side of the row of cyan that you've made. So just run all the way across of the row of cyan like that with your black wool. You then want to go right of this black wool until you connect to the very right hand side of your Xbox, and this will form a rectangular shape at the top of your Xbox like this. We then want to, starting from the very top back left hand corner of the empty space inside here, you want to do this. So going from left to right, you want to do cyan stained clay, miss one, cyan stained clay, miss one, cyan stained clay, miss one, so on and so forth until you fill in this top row like that. Then the next row below it, like coming towards the front, you want to, in the gaps, place a cyan stained clay. So do a cyan stained clay in the gaps of this moving forwards, like that. The entire left hand side of your Xbox will be filled in with black wool. So, now that we've reached this point, I'm sure that you guys can understand what we're going to have to do from here. So, on the left hand side of the Xbox, we're going to have to complete the pattern of cyan stained clay. We'll do the same at the top right hand side of the Xbox, and we'll also fill in the top left hand side of the Xbox with black wool. We will then be adding black wool to the insides of the right hand side and left hand side of the Xbox, but it's just occurred to me now that on the top of the Xbox, to let in some light, we could add in some black glass instead, in between the actual cyan stained clay. So this may provide a little bit more light, it will be a little bit nicer, and it's completely up to you whether you want to add that or not. I quite like that. But regardless, I'm going to go away. I'm going to complete the pattern on the left, the top. I'm going to fill that left area in with black, and then I'm going to add black and glass all the way inside of the pattern. You guys know what you have to do. If you don't worry, I'll show you what you have to do in just a moment. I'll be back once I've completed all of that. But trust me, it's actually going to take like well over like 15 minutes to do this. It takes ages. And that is the entire Xbox filled in. And trust me when I tell you that that takes a while. So that is the top, right hand side, left hand side, and back filled in. On the top, we had to apply the rest of the pattern, plus, you might not be able to tell, but there's actually glass underneath and in between the pattern at the top to keep it light inside. We have on the right hand side the pattern, and we have the black wool inside of it. On the back, we have the same thing, pattern and black wool inside of it. And on the very left hand side, we have the pattern with the black wool inside of it. Now, at any point in time, you could of course not use the black wool and you could use glass if you want to keep this thing looking very bright, but that's completely up to you. Oh, also, we filled in this area, the top left hand side, in with black wool. Well, once you have all of that completed, and I know that that takes a really long time, guys, pause this video if necessary. Once you've got that taken care of, you can then move on to what we're going to be doing now, which is making the controller. So, the Xbox controller requires a few different items. We'll need cyan stained clay again, but then we'll also need some sea lanterns. We'll need some black wool. We don't need any dark grey, we need some light grey wool. We need cyan, lime wool, yellow, and some red wool. These are the materials that we need. And the last control that I made in front of the Xbox, which you can do as well. I made it like front left hand side of the Xbox, but this time I'm going to make the Xbox controller on top of the left hand side of the Xbox. Since there's nothing going on up here, I'm going to make it literally placed on top of the Xbox. This is just a little mini controller. It's completely up to you where you place it. Well, so once you've figured out exactly where you want to put your controller, I'm going to be putting it on top of the Xbox right at about the front here, and you're going to want to start this off by looking down at the top of your Xbox and placing a black wool. Go left of that black wool by 1. Go an up left diagonal and go up on top of it by 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to do an upright diagonal and go up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're then going to do an upright diagonal and go right by 1. Do 2 bottom right diagonals, an upright diagonal, and then we're going to go right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm then going to do a bottom right diagonal, then followed by 2 upright diagonals, that's 1 and 2. And then I'm going to go right by 1, do a bottom right diagonal, I'm going to go down by 4, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a bottom right diagonal, then I'm going to go down by 4, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to do a bottom left diagonal, left by 1, then up by 1, then I'm going to do 3 up left diagonals, that's 1, 2, and 3. I'm then going to go left by 6, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'm going to do 3 bottom left diagonals, that's 1, 2, and 3, to give us a shape which should look like that. And that's perfect, that's exactly what we want to have. Now, the next part of the shape is slightly trickier. So what we're going to do is 1 row above this shape that we've made and 1 row outwards, we are going to do a layer of black wall that goes all the way around the outside of this shape. So 1 row above, 1 row outwards, we just want to have a layer of black wall that goes all the way around this shape. So this is just to make the pad look a little bit chunkier, it's just to make it look a little bit better basically, it's just to make it look a bit more 3D, because otherwise if we just have like 1 row of black wool, or even 2 rows, or 3 rows, or 4 rows, and they're all like the same size, then you don't really get the feeling that this pad is 3D at all. But this way, going 1 row above and outwards all the way around the pad, not connecting at the corners by the way, that should be very important, but I will show you what this looks like after I've done it, just so that you can see it a bit easier. And I do realise it's a little harder to see, considering the fact that it's kind of like black on black, but you guys should hopefully still be able to see what I've done. That's just 1 row above, 1 row outwards. And then we want to add another layer of black on top of that. So we actually want to have 2 layers of black on top, or I suppose like 2 layers of black in the middle, and then for the next layer going around this, where we're going to be adding in all of the details. So the next layer of this, it'll be all details, and you guys will see why we've made this. And I'm hoping that with it being balanced on top of the Xbox, it looks a little bit more, it looks a little bit better. But there we go, we have the controller up there. Those are the 2 layers. What we now want to do is, starting from the same position that we started on down below, so it's actually in this position, so 1 block inwards and 1 block higher in relation to the 2 rows of black, and this is starting the same place that we did right at the bottom, we want to place a black wall. We then want to go left of this black wall by 1. Then do an up left diagonal, like this. We then want to go up by 4, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to do an up right diagonal, which is coming this way. We then want to go up by 3, 1, 2, 3, then place a cyan stained clay. Do an upright diagonal and go right from that cyan stained clay by 1. Take out your black wall again, do 2 bottom right diagonals, that'll be 1 and that'll be 2. Then do an upright diagonal, like this. We then want to go right by 1 with the sea lantern, 1 with the black, 1 with the sea lantern, 1 with the black. Then do a bottom right diagonal, followed by an upright diagonal. We then want to do an upright diagonal with your cyan stained clay. Then go right by 1. Do a bottom right diagonal, and then go down from that clay by 2 with the black wall. Go down by 1 with the red wall, then go left by 1 with the black. Underneath this black, place the lime green wall. Left of it a cyan, and above it a yellow wall. We then want to go down from this red wall again by 1 with the black wall. Do a bottom right diagonal and then go down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a bottom left diagonal and then left by 1. Then up by 1. Do an up left diagonal. Then from that up left diagonal, do an up left diagonal with your light grey wall. Then go above it by 2. Then extend that middle block left and right each by 1 with the light grey wall. Like that. Then going left of the left hand side of your D-pad, do a row of 5 black wool. That'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5. Then go left by 3 with your light grey, that's 1, 2, 3. Take the centre block, go up and below it by 1 with your light grey. You then want to, with your black wool, fill in the entire rest of the top center part of your Xbox controller. And I am aware, guys, that the Xbox controller doesn't have 2 D-pads. I know it doesn't, don't worry, but honestly, just for the sake of making this controller, and because it is very, very small, to get as much detail as possible, we really couldn't just leave it alone like that. And once we have filled in this black wool, we are going to add a couple more details because there are 2 things lacking. So once you have something which should look a little bit like this, we do have to add a bit more detail. So we'll come all the way up to the top of your controller, and where you have these sea lanterns, you want to, leaving a gap of 1 in between these sea lanterns and the ones that we're going to be placing. You want to move down, leave a gap of 1, destroy the black wall, and then place a sea lantern in them. Then knock out the center block in between these 4 sea lanterns and place a sea lantern in them, so you have an X shape with your sea lantern. You then want to take these bottom 2 sea lanterns that you placed, and you want to go 1 block down below them, and then move outwards by 2, that'll be 1 and 2. Then you want to destroy those blocks, place a cyan stained clay. And then this one, you want to move down 1, move outwards by 2, destroy that, place a cyan stained clay. And there you have your Xbox controller, like this. We're then going to take off the user interface and have a look at that. I know it's difficult to see, obviously, because of course, I mean, it's black on black, but you guys get the idea, you can see what it looks like. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be your Xbox and your controller. And I kind of like it up there, because you don't know where it is exactly. You could also, I'm not sure there's enough room actually, I was going to suggest that perhaps you could have the controller facing another way, so you could actually see the thing, but I actually quite like it like that. And that is your Xbox house. Now, I'm not going to show you how to do the inside unless you guys really want it, because I haven't designed the interior yet, but you could place the interior anywhere that you want to. I mean, you could place the entrance to the interior. You could have it like on the left-hand side here so that it doesn't ruin the front of your Xbox. And you can see how much space we actually have inside here. You could definitely get a cool interior going. I guess that we could do some sort of themed garden with this. I'm not sure that I actually want to design the interior for this, to be honest with you guys. But, I mean, I guess if you really want to, I'd do it. But, you can see that you could absolutely turn that into a really big house quite easily, because it is quite the massive space. But that's your Xbox One house. You guys have been asking for that for quite some time, and I hope that I've delivered. I hope that you guys like it. Well, if you do, please give this video a like. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know down below in the comment section what else should I build next. Be very interested to see what you guys want. Follow me on Twitter at TSMC360. Feel free to do the same thing. Check out the card system. Check out the description below for all of my other theme builds and some other playlists that I'll be leaving you to. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.